Hey, I'm Tommy Chong. Welcome to High on Homegrown.
Yes, everybody, and welcome to High on Homegrown, the cannabis podcast from PercysGrowRoom.com. Before we move into this week's Grow Guides, there's some things you need to know about. Don't forget about these. Now, tomorrow, which will be Saturday, the 3rd of December, we have a live interview with the legendary Jorge Cervantes. He's going to come and talk about his new book, We Grow Cannabis, which is free for download online for everybody. So make sure you come and join us if you're free tomorrow. It's at 6 p.m. GMT. That's 1 p.m. Eastern and 11 a.m. Pacific time. And it's like 5 o'clock in the morning in Australia. But if you go over to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/highonhomegrown, it's already scheduled and you'll be able to see how long it is until it starts for you. So get over there. And if you're free, come and join us for the live interview with Jorge Cervantes. Be there. Also, for the episode on Sunday, we have a giveaway where we're giving away $50 voucher for phenoseeds.com and a $75 voucher for phenoseeds.com as well. There'll be 2 spins. So make sure you get over for the live stream on Sunday as well. That starts at 9 p.m. GMT. That's 4 p.m. Eastern and 1 p.m. Pacific. So make sure you head over to the YouTube channel again, youtube.com/highonhomegrown. Subscribe, ring the bell for notifications. Join us on Saturday for the live interview with Jorge, and join us on Sunday for the live show where we're giving away 2 different prizes, $50 and $75. Awesome. Make sure you're there. Anyway, let's get on with the episode, and I'll speak to you at the end of this. This episode is all about what strains we recommend you grow. So try out some of these. Anyway, enjoy the episode. We'll speak to you at the end. See you in a bit. So yes, we're talking about strains this week. So far, we're on episode 44, this is, of Grow Guides. So we've covered 44 different things to do with growing cannabis, from start to finish, all the equipment you need, what mediums, what nutrients, just about everything. But I'll look through the list of all the episodes we've done so far, and I'll notice that we haven't told you what you should grow. I mean, obviously, cannabis is what you should be growing, but we haven't really had an episode where we recommend strains that we think you should all go out and grow. And it's an important one because you don't want to spend months growing weed that turns out to be, I don't know, unfavorable. You know, you want the good shit. You know what I mean? You want stuff people have tried before and shit that's recommended by people who have grown it and smoked it before. So I thought that would be a good topic to discuss this week. So you all know what I'm going to say, really.
Let me guess.
I mean,
So
You want me to,
Hell.
I can give Mackey's top 5 pretty quickly.
go on, Monkey. Tell me what my top 5 is, bro.
Blue cheese is going to be your first.
Oh, yeah.
Got to go to blue cheese.
Mhm.
CBD cream and cheese.
It's a good choice again.
Oh, yeah. Now we all got to talk about lemon tree here, you know. Now from here, it's going to get a little bit more touchy, you know. Let's see where we're going to go after that. Guys, you want to help me with this one?
I was just going to guess lemon tree. So
That's all he's ever smoked, right?
yeah.
Well,
So,
while we had the show going, I remember he's had blue cheese, and he's also had CBD cream and cheese going.
Shown
but
up,
he's
got
also-
one there.
Yeah,
Jack
we
Hera,
did
bro.
get one.
Jack Hera, I
Yeah,
forgot the
Jack
Jack. Yeah.
Hera.
But see, I would have gone with
Mm.
Super Lemon Haze, but the Super Lemon Haze was replaced with Lemon Tree, I believe.
Yeah.
mhm.
Super Lemon used to be one of his favorites, though.
Super Lemon's a
And
good one, but there's always new strains coming out all the time that I just fucking pucker, you know? But
I
that
agree with
Jack
that.
Hera, which were grown from seedsman, man, that was a delicious strain. It's been so fucking long since I smoked it. I can't remember how good it was, but I remember enjoying that thoroughly. That was beautiful weed. What about you, Monkey? What's your top 5?
Oh, geez, 5. I can't do top 5. You know, I'm kind of like you. You can ask me what my top will be this week, and it's going to be different than it's going to be next week. It all depends what I'm in the mood for, kind of, sort of like that. I don't know. I always.
Have you put
I'm
yourself on
really
mute there?
No. I don't want to get. Well, I've always talked about my pineapple chunk because I don't know. That's just one that everybody's different, but that's one that hits all the buttons just right for me. So I always talk about that one. Jack Herrera is an epic strain, so I could definitely add that one to it, though. I'm really digging the strawberry cough that I've been playing with lately, though, and it seems like the more I play with it, the better it seems to get. So I'm gonna have to throw that one in there as well. What else would I have to say that I would like to just to always have on hand? I like so many different things. That's the problem. Saying something's my favorite is it's favorite because maybe it's new in the cabinet right now and I'm going to get tired of it in 6 months. But trying to find one that stands the test of time that I'm going back for in a strange sort of way. Maybe this isn't so strange, but I'm finding myself going back for that crystalline entity these days. I still got a jar and a half of it left in the back. It's been aged a nice long time. And there's just something nice about that right now. It's aged into a really heavy stone, and it's great for late night. So I'm going to throw that one in there as well. But after that, I'm going to back off a bit.
But TG's is the crystalline entity, right?
It is.
Yeah. Is that going to be one of your favorites, TG?
Well, I'm partial to my own children, of course. They are, yeah, like the parents, the Blueberry OG and the Romulan Kush are, for me, Blueberry is a really, really nice strain. It's not my favorite. It was really nice, but it did a lot of good things medicinally for me, as well as the Romulan Kush. So the spontaneity of the event that provided me with crystalline NSC seeds must have known that too, and kind of combined those two medicinal qualities into one. And thus far, I've grown a lot of them out, and people have sent me them over the time that I've been sending the seeds around. And it's pretty consistently, it is consistent. And the main thing for me is the medicinal thing, which it always, makes me hungry and helps me out there. So, but my list is, like, I don't know. Are you asking me now? Or?
Yeah. Tell us what your top 5 are, bro. The top 4, because we've got one of them now.
Well, I have a big list here. I'll go quick.
Okay.
It's not going to be 5 because it's just me. But
these are all the strains I've tried.
Well, I have it's kind of like families, and then there's certain strains that I like. I like hazes. I like the Cam and the Sour Diesel fam. That kind of really burnt rubbery, fuely bullshit, really nasty. I like piss. As you guys know, my skunk one that I got from Sensi, that I selected a super pissy one, and then I selfed it. Has turned out extremely pissy. Like, I remember Cheryl was scrubbing the bathroom for like hours thinking it was really just my strain emanating from the basement. But strain wise specifically, Burmese haze is a favorite of mine. I haven't found it in years. It's to smoke. Love potion number 9. I love proper train wreck, like right from Arcata would be ideal, like a cut. But there's a few good companies out there with a good train wreck seed. NL5 haze, of course, it's the fucking classic hybrid. Seedsman's Jack Hare specifically. I've never had the original Jack by Sensi that was released, in '96 or whatever it was, and then the one I have now, I don't know where they're at in terms of the genetics there, but Seedsman's Jack Hare specifically is fucking awesome. Romulan, you guys have heard me yell about Romulan lots. Grape God and Jaeger. Those are kind of some Canadian ones. Jaeger it smells like fucking Jägermeister. It's
no
like
way.
Nice. Licorice. Purple Kush, a really meat fucking, like, it smells like beef stew. Purple Kush. That takes me back when I first fucking started smoking, and so there's like a nostalgia aspect to that. So, but I haven't been able to find a good Purple Kush like that since then. So, yeah, that's mine.
Nice, man. What are you saying, Marge? What's your favorite?
I think I'm more like Monkey in that I don't necessarily have favorites. It's sort of whatever I happen to have in stock at the time and I feel like growing. But I mean, I have some seeds that are being sent to me right now, and the Strawberry Cough was one that I picked. So I'm looking forward to trying that out. And 11 Skunk, because I love anything lemon, and a Buddha. And I don't know if anybody's tried like a Laughing Buddha strain, but that may be it's sort of a long flowering time, so it'll be interesting to see how that one works out. Definitely not one that I'll be doing outdoors, but I'm kind of looking forward to trying that. The Crystalline Entity has been good, and back in the day when I was growing more, I did a lot of White Widow.
Classic, fucking hell, yes.
That's nice.
Yeah, yeah. So that was one that we did repeatedly because it was just so good and really enjoyed it. But I did a Purple Godbud recently. Actually, I think those are some of your seeds, TG.
Yeah, TG again,
Yeah. I actually did have that one written down, but I forgot to say that. So
yeah. I haven't actually tried it yet. I grew it it's drying right now. So verdict will be out next week. Stay tuned.
It's good.
But I'm really happy with the way it turned out. But I also find sometimes some of the purple strains, for me anyway, aren't like huge, don't provide huge yields, but they're really pretty. So I kind of like it for the aesthetics as well. But that one was super frosty. But I get seeds, you know, sent to me or whatever. And it's just sort of like, what do I feel like growing right now? And it usually changes every single time. In the last couple of years, I haven't really grown too many things twice. There's just so much. There's so much.
We're spoiled for choice nowadays. It's crazy, man.
Yeah.
Before, you know, back in the day, we just have weed.
Right. You know? You're like, here's some seeds. Let's see what happens if I put them in dirt or whatever.
What are you saying, Bob? What's yours? Top 5-ish.
Top 5. My absolute top, if I could get a really decent genetic set of it, would be white rhino.
Oh, fucking hell. Yeah, damn. Yeah.
That's one that I, as a kid, fucking loved. I'm a purist. I love the old school stuff. So White Widow's right up there. And then if I'm going to go more old school, maybe OG Kush. This dab is hit just perfectly, by the way. Yeah, so an OG Kush. Then if I'm going to go something new school, it'd be something like the any of the Gorilla Glue crosses are really nice. I like the Sunset Sherbet. That's a top one at the moment for me. And of course, Girl Scout Cookie. Can't leave Girl Scout Cookie off that list.
God, yeah, damn. Auto Colorado cookies. Forgotten about that beast.
Oh, I forgot about that one.
See, there's so many strains out there. We are definitely spoiled for choice, man. And it's hard for anybody to pick. I'm terrible. I am. Say if I'll go to the shop and I'm going to buy something, the more selection there is, the longer it's going to take me to choose what the fuck I want. And I can never really make my mind up. It's just like, I'm just going to have to grab something and go, you know, like say, for example, a bottle of beer. If I'm going out to try different beers, I'll be like, which one should I have? And there's shitloads of different options. We don't have the options of buying cannabis here in the UK. You know, it's not really options. But it's always hard to choose, man. Which one am I going to have? Even when I go to a restaurant for food and there's like 5 items on the menu, I'm like, God, I don't know what I'm going to have. I'm real bad at it. I just have to have the missus choose for me. So it can be difficult to make that final decision, especially when you're going to take months to grow the stuff. And when we've all mentioned here strains that we'd like to smoke or consume in different ways. But when it comes to growing, we might have a completely different experience. You know, there might be a strain which we really enjoy, but it might be a pain in the ass to grow. Like the hazes, for example. A haze generally goes 14 to 16 weeks, even longer, sometimes 20 weeks on the flowering period by itself. But if you go for a cheese is usually 8 to 10 weeks flowering. So the flowering period is completely different. So some are much easier to grow than others. One of my personal favorites to grow is the Jack Herer again. You know, it's just such an easy plant to grow. And I did that real nice scrub grow one time, which I like to look back on and reminisce sometimes, because that was a fucking awesome grow, man. It went very well. So Jack Herer is definitely one I would recommend for a newbie. If a newbie's getting into this shit, hasn't done it before, and trying to think of a good strain to grow, I'd say Jack Herer is definitely an option.
Go to White Widow for new growers, because it's just such a stable, you know, well-maintained line, good potency, good yields, very forgiving.
Yeah, can handle stress well.
You feed it lightly and she just goes.
So is that what you'd recommend then, Monkey, for a new grower? They're gonna go.
I've recommended a ton of times already. I've recommended the White Widow to new growers, and I'll continue to do it. It's a good way to get started, and from there, I mean, it gives you a good, a really good amount of medicine for your effort, and it's rewarding without too much work. And from there, you can decide if you want to go a little bit, you know, one way or the other with different flavors and stuff like that. But it's always a good one to start with. There are others too. Yeah. I mean, if you're looking for a little bit more into the sativa line, something more uplifting off the Widow may be a Blue Dream as a first grow, because that's a pretty easy one to grow. Blue
But
Dream.
if we just keep it to one to recommend for each panel member right now, and then it stops everybody
Okay.
having a list of 20, because that's what we're going to do. Because we
That's
can
the
go on forever
problem, yeah.
about strains, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean,
Very
for a new
convincing.
grower, yeah, I would say I would go with White Widow, and I would go with Feminized, not Auto, because
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
the more and more I'm watching new growers try to grow autoflowers, the problem with an autoflower is if you don't have that seed cranking from the get-go, you're going to end up having a plant that can be stunted, and it can be disappointing. So for that reason, I'd say go with a feminized seed, because if you make mistakes, you can take your time.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So White Widow, Fend.
Yes, man. And Jack Harrow for me. What would you think, Mark? What would you recommend a new grower picks for their first strain to grow?
Who'd you say?
Marge.
Me?
Marge.
Oh, okay. Is it bubble or not? I don't know how I missed that. Well, I mean, based on my experience, because I grew it so often, the White Widow seemed good.
Mhm.
I'd say it had a, you know, it's an at the indica. It's a pretty fuck, I've smoked too much weed. You know what I mean? It's pretty friendly to a beginner grower. It
Mhm,
doesn't
for
have a
sure.
long
Very
flowering
forgiving as
time.
far as what it does.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's
Mhm.
forgiving. That's the word I was looking for. So it's forgiving. It doesn't have a long flowering time or anything like that. It's yeah, and it doesn't get huge. So if you're growing it in a tent, then it's manageable.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Were you saying, Bob? What would you recommend?
See, I'm always about the Widow for a first timer, and again, same thing. Photo autos, they can just if it's your first time, stick with a photo period, learn the plant, learn how it goes through its stages, and if anything does go wrong, you can just leave it to veg out a little bit and recover. So, but Widow being right smack bang in the middle, it's not 8 weeks, it's not 15 weeks. You know, you're going to be in the middle there. Gives you a good idea of how long a run goes as well.
Nice.
For your first time, and then you're going to have some nice dank to smoke while you contemplate what you do next.
Nice. Well, you say TG. What do you think?
Yeah, that's a super hard question. You know, I do a little bit of like consulting and shit, like helping people learn how to grow.
Mhm.
You know, and one of the things that we always comes up, obviously, is like, what do you want to grow? And like, obviously, my recommendation is like the one that they take. I end up always giving them my seeds, to be honest, just because it's, I don't know, it's hard to say, like, because I mostly grow a lot of my own shit. I haven't grown a lot of like, I don't have a ton of experience besides basically seeds and some other stuff. Yeah, I give them my shit, my crystalline entity. But if you can't get that, which you can't, because it's, you know, mine, and I don't really send
It's
it
all
out.
mine.
Well, I just don't send it out super often. Maybe there might be something in the future with regard to that, so stay tuned. But for now, yeah, you can't get those unless you know me. But I would say a skunk one. Just find a good skunk. It's really hard to say like whose skunk is the best, because skunk has such a convoluted, and like there's a million different kinds of skunks these days. But by and large, you know, the genetics in skunk are very stable. It produces a good, large, easy cola. It's really good potency wise, and it's a really nice all around plant. It's easy to grow, I find, and it's done in like 7 to 8 weeks. So it kind of gives you a nice entry to growing. You know, it takes a lot of shit. So, but again, it's hard to say. Most breeders have, you know, or most banks, I would say, not breeders, but have a version of skunk one, or skunk of some sort. Could be like Sensi does Shiva skunk, or there's super skunk. If you can get that, that'd be cool. But yeah, I would say some skunk, which cheese is a derivative. You know, you could do that, or I don't know. I'm shit at fucking picking shit like this, you know, because ultimately it's what do you like, and I don't want to give you like some piss if you don't like piss or whatever, right?
I think White Widow is definitely a good option. It's been recommended by 3 of us here. So I would say for anybody who's just getting started with growing and they're looking for a strain to grow for their first grow, if you go for White Widow, you can't go wrong. Can't go wrong.
Don't ask me, man. I don't know.
Yeah, TG's just going to give you a long list.
Well, yeah.
We'll just
I
try
mean,
and get
it's-
something that isn't too sativa dominant, because sativa dominant will grow. The flowering period of that it can be long, and you want to get something done for your first grow. Then once you've got a few jars full, excuse me, and you don't have to worry so much about where the weed's coming from, then you can grow a sativa after that.
Focus on the growing. Yeah, don't try not to get something you're gonna have to worry about staking and fucking hanging yo-yos from the roof and fucking all that
That's
shit.
what I was looking for
great.
too. Yeah.
But
A plant that's small and manageable, that's not going to take over your tent the first time you try and grow it. You want something that's going to be easy, and White Widow does kind of fit that bill because it's trainable.
Maybe an Afghani, something Afghani.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, man.
Don't ask me again.
And something cheesy is always good as well, but of course that's just got to be stinky. And if the buds grow big, you're gonna be hanging shit up, and it can be difficult.
Yeah, man.
White Widow is a good option.
Too. It's like if you've never had cheese and you're like first time ever growing, it's like cheese, and you're like, what the fuck, Yeah,
the smell.
It can reek.
Is the dog shit?
Really? Like, is this supposed to smell like this? Yeah.
Yeah,
man, got some cheese. Random quick tangent. I got some cheese, not like weed cheese, but actual cheese the other day that has been curing, or they had a specific word for it, but for 4 years.
Aging.
Why?
It's been sitting there for 4 years. 4-year-old cheese, man. It's like, damn. I was like, I'm gonna have to try this shit, but it's gonna be disgusting. God damn, that shit is like, woof, potent, bro, potent. Good shit. I like it though, but it's probably very bad for you. But yeah, random tangent there. Sorry, just reminded me speaking about cheese and how stinky this stuff was. So there's some strains everybody can go for. Jack Herer, Skunk #1, or White Widow. They will be good options to go for on your first grow, or any grow. Even if you're 20th grow, but if you haven't grown them strains yet, then it's time to do it and go and grow them strains. But where do you get these things from? Because this is another problem. Is some seed banks and breeders have a better reputation than others. So you want to make sure that you get the best genetics. And I personally have always had good results using the Dutch breeders, man, the Barney's Farm and the Dutch Passion. Those guys just smash it. And they're old school as fuck. They've been around for so long and they've got a good reputation. Been around for at least 20 years. Can't even remember. Dutch Passion been going for a long time, man. They've always got good shit. Never grown a bad seed from Dutch Passion. So that's who I would recommend. What do you think there, TG? What breeder / seed bank would you recommend?
Oh man, I don't really. I don't know. I mean, I would say, I like shopping local. I don't like importing shit if I don't have to. I prefer to trade cuts if I can do that with people that I know and like, and I can smoke the weed before I actually buy it or grow it, but I don't know. I mean, if I have to throw a big seed bank name out there, I like Seedsman. They've always been
I've never had a bad seed from Seedsman either, man. There's some of my favorite strains from there, like the Jack Herer, the CBD cream and cheese, both from Seedsman, and they're cheap as fuck, right?
They have really good prices. They've recently, not super recently, but but maybe 2 years ago, they had a way more selection, which to me, if a bank has fucking every strain, there's a few here in Canada, I don't know if I'll throw one out there, just fucking Crop King. They have fucking 300 strains. I find it very difficult to believe that you're constantly curating, these strains to have them fresh and proper and blah, blah, blah. So there's some fuckery there. Seedsman has cut that down quite a bit, and they have their core strains now that they use. I like them. Plus, they also have a lot of other, their seed bank, so they carry other breeders and shit too. So, and then they're cheap, yeah. So,
what about you, Marge? Where do you get your seeds from, other than TG?
Yeah, me too.
I've gotten a bunch of seeds from TG, and those ones always perform perfectly. So. A friend with weed is a friend indeed, and that applies to seeds as well. I haven't really ordered a lot from any of those seed banks. I ordered from one in Canada a while back. TG, maybe you can help me jog my memory. True North Seed Bank or something. Yeah. It was okay. I can't even remember what I ordered at the time. It was a while ago. I've gotten some from fellow Gangiers because there's quite a few breeders that have gone through the program. So I think there was like 555 genetics, and his stuff was pretty good based on my own personal experience. Experiment of N equals 1. You can find him on Instagram. I think it's 555_genetics. And there's a couple other Gangiers I got seeds from. And I'm trying out another seed bank called MSNL. If anyone's familiar with that, they're sending me some seeds too. So, but I haven't had any experience with them yet. I'm just trying them out. I've been very fortunate where I seem to have like a collection of seeds from a lot of places, and I haven't had to buy them. So good problems to have, I guess.
Yeah, man. Woody just said in the chat there 2 weeks for some random reason, and it just reminds me 2 weeks. 2 weeks.
Oh, you know what? Temple said in the chat too, Humboldt seeds. I've gotten seeds from them too, and they were good.
Oh yeah, Humboldt, good. Fucking hell. It's like strains. There's so many good choices out there.
Yeah.
Humboldt's good. I have a forbidden dream of theirs actually. That's I'm still running the third go. It's like fucking tangy basically, and tangy's a very like you know, either like it or
sour
you hate
diesel
it.
tangy. Oh my god.
Sour
Tangerine
diesel.
Dream, California Orange. Oh my goodness. So many good strains out there. Orange Bud, fuck, from Dutch Passion. Damn, bro.
Critical Orange Punch.
Yeah, what you say, Bob? What's your favorite breeder? Who do you rely on?
Usually I have pretty good you know, as far as ordering them, it's hard to get them in to the country, or was for a long time, finding someone that's got that actually takes most of them. But for me, anything Barney's or Dutch Passion serves me well. I usually don't have too much issues with that.
And you get them from Adibongo as well, don't you? Because they ship to the Australia. Yeah,
they do. Just make sure you go with stealth shipping with anything you're bringing in. It just makes it a lot easier, and they tend to get through, 1, quicker, but 2, safely. So everything I've ordered from Ali Bongos has come through, and Weed Seed Express as well.
Yeah,
they get them through every now and then. So
they have got. So if you're looking for discreet packaging, everybody, then Weed Seed Express are the guys you want to go for. I've had packages come in from Weed Seed Express that I was gonna throw away because I had no fucking idea what it was. So who's spamming me with this shit? And it got thrown in the bin, and, you know. And then my mother ripped it open and was like, "Are you sure you don't want this?" Look, she ripped this thing. It's like, there's seeds in there. I was like, "Oh fuck. Yeah, I want those." Sorry. And it was like quite a few packs. I was like 10 packs of 5, 6 seeds. Like, a lot of seeds, man. It was going to get thrown in the bin. So if you want discretion, if that's important to you, then Weed Seed Express is definitely an option. But if you want to guarantee that it gets to you as well, Ali Bongos are fucking good at that. They get everything into everywhere, man. So that if you have problems usually getting the seeds to actually get to you because of customs and shit, Ali Bongos a good option for that. Sorry, Bubble.
No, I was just going to say I was pretty much the same with WSE last time they sent it through to us. It was a postcard. It was just a postcard in a letter thing, and I'm like, oh, okay. I open it up, and you have to tear it apart to get to the stuff on the inside. You wouldn't know they're in there if you're just looking at it through a screen, you know.
Yeah,
because they're lined too. I think they've got them lead lined or whatever.
It's crazy, man. They put the effort in to make sure that it comes in discreet. You know, if it arrives for me, I'm expecting them, and it arrives, and I still don't know about the seeds in it. Then fucking hell, it's gonna get past most people. What about you, Monkey? Over there in the USA, what do you use?
Oh, I mean, I started using Barney's Farm as my first grow stuff. I have to say, everything I've grown from Barney's has been good. I haven't had any problems, germination or phenos or anything like that with Barney. So I definitely would recommend Barney's. Dutch Passion, yeah, of course. Why not? I mean, they're good. As long as you check your genetics and you like what they're offering, but everybody's different. One of those things like that. I've also grown some really nice stuff from Sweet Seeds.
Oh yeah, that's another good breeder. Yeah,
pretty good stuff. I mean, very frosty, very flavorful stuff. Nirvana's served me well. A few things I've done from them, really tasty, good size. I mean, come on, Seed Stalkers and Seedsman both. I mean, those are both bulk type seeds places, but both of those I've done really well with. But a lot like Marge, lately I've been getting my hands on more and more of, you know, other stuff coming from different sources now. So I'm starting to move in those directions now into things that other people are starting to send in breeding and things like that. So,
Yeah.
But all of those things that I mentioned would be, I like all of those seed brands and all those breeders have worked really well for me.
Mm-hmm. There's just so many options, and most of the time it's good shit. You know, it's very rare to come across seeds that don't work the way they should, and that will only happen if you buy from, even from a bad breeder. There's not many of those. You know, it's like capitalism and the cannabis community. They speak, man. We communicate with each other, and if there's a particular breeder that is consistently letting out shit seeds, they don't stay around for very long. You know, it's the good guys at the top that stay around for a long time because they produce good shit. So them old school ones are always good to go with. But look at TG, man. It's pretty much a pollen chuck using my fingers, you know, because he just put work into breeding the right strains with the right strains. But his strains are always coming off quality, and he's just the own personal breeder. And there's plenty of guys out there doing the same thing that can produce consistently good seeds as well.
I'm no breeder. I'm a hobbyist.
Yeah,
seed
yeah.
maker. I think I was the best. I'm a bit more than a pollen chucker, I would say, but much less than a breeder. But
yeah, it's like there's many people like are not professional, serious breeders, but can still produce good seeds and good genetics.
Yeah, for sure. You know, it takes a lot of work, and I do test my seeds. That is one thing I can say about my shit, compared to maybe a lot of people out there who just buy 2 hype strains, cross them together, and then fucking sell them for $200 a seed or whatever the fuck it is, because that's what everyone wants.
Yeah.
You know, that's easy to do, but you should, know that testing seeds takes a fuck of a lot of time. So you got breeders releasing shit, on and on and on.
This is one of those things that used to get done a lot more back in the day. It doesn't seem to be done as often nowadays.
Well, because you don't have to.
Much.
Exactly like you guys said, or you said, there's so much choice out there now. And Instagram has kind of like, you post a really good picture and everybody wants it, even though pictures obviously don't equate to quality, so it's a different game in terms of what people want and when they want it, I think, and just the speed at how it changes too, the cycles of fads and stuff. So yeah, it's tough to be a breeder and stay on top of that, because you got to be constantly offering new shit. But you can't, because in order to properly do that, you should test it and stuff, but you can't because you need to offer new shit. So it's like, what do you do?
And we do have an episode as well about making seeds. So if anybody's interested in making their own, then go and check out that episode of Grow Guides.
Yeah, I'm actually picking through some F2s right now with my crystalline entity, a bunch of crosses I made. Ironically, it's funny, I just thought of that.
So far, I mean, if you're looking at cheap seeds, cheap, reliable, good seeds, seedsmen are quality. You can get seeds there for just a few pounds, man, like £3 to £5 for a decent seed. For the Jack Herer, it's just a few quid. You don't need to be spending £50 on 3 seeds and, don't know if they're going to be good or not. You can get 5 seeds for about £20 from seedsmen. So if you're on a budget and you're just looking for some good genetics, seedsman's the place to go. As you said, Ali Bongo, they also have their own range of seeds as well, called Bongo Bulk. And I haven't grown any of those out myself personally, but we've seen plenty of them be grown over on PercysGrowroom.com and Grow Diaries, and they always seem to do pretty well as well. And they're good, cheap seeds. And Ali Bongo, as we said, will be able to get the seeds to you. A lot of people, like in Australia, for example, they have difficulty getting seeds actually to get to them, because when it goes through customs, it gets found out. But Ali Bongo are very good at getting shit to you, so try them if that's an issue.
Yeah, Ali Bongo had a big selection. I went through their shit and they had some stuff I didn't expect a UK bank to have.
And you've got a discount code there as well. You can get 15% off using discount code Percys. Percys, all capital letters. Percys 15. So PERCYS 15, and you'll be able to get 15% off any purchase over there. So do that. And then Weed Seed Express, great for discretion. You know what I'm saying? So if you want to make sure that it comes in discreet, and even if it went to your neighbors, they wouldn't know what the fuck it was, then Weed Seed Express are good to go. Go for them.
The only way your neighbor's going to know what it is if they've ordered it themselves, and in that case, you're sweet anyway. So
yeah, man. So, and there's a lot of different options out there. These are not, the list is not exhaustive. There is a shitload of options out there for you. So if you have any doubts, come and ask over on percysgrowroom.com. You should all be a member of there already. So if you go into a particular seed bank and you're like, I've never heard of these guys before, I wonder if they're any good, then come and fucking put a post up on Percys and be like, yo, I've heard of these guys, thinking about buying some seeds. Anybody worked with them before? And people will be able to tell you, yeah, I've done that.
I can't afford to join Percys.
What?
I can't afford.
That's right. Percys. There is a fee for joining Percys now, everybody. Maybe that will work, right? Yeah, it's $20 a year to join Percys Grow Room.
Man, we'd have people but for the next door down.
But until January, it's going to be absolutely free. All right. So if you sign up now, then you won't have to pay that $20.
Yeah.
How's that
sound? If you get it before the first of the year.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Absolutely free.
Absolutely 100% free.
It's like one of those never-ending closing down sales.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of people who think it's too good to be true, but we actually we don't charge anything. We're a community that help one another. So come on by.
Yeah. So any recommendations here with the seed bank? Any ideas, seed bank breeders, anything to add there?
I've dealt directly with seedsmen. I've got their stuff through other seed banks. They're fine too, as well as if you're ordering seeds that they do well by themselves. They ship worldwide and all that stuff too. So,
yes,
seeds are a funny game. I would say you're probably gonna have pretty good luck with most stuff, but whether or not it's like, as advertised in terms of the lineage and stuff and all of that is just, good weed's good weed regardless of what it's called. But if you're into provenance and lineage and stuff, then it's important to source your seeds properly.
Indeed.
And do your research. And there's ways to do that. There's a lot of people telling a lot of history and shit like that. I can recommend Breeder Syndicate. I've been listening to a lot of them, the podcast, and they're doing like the history of weed. It's guys that were around during the actual days of what happened. So it's really interesting there to see a lot of the stuff that's been sold as such and blah, 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 that isn't what it seems. And people have made a lot of money off certain things and whatnot. So yeah, just do your due diligence would be my advice.
I'd be hesitant on spending big money on seeds without any kind of proof of what you got.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so lots of good choices there. And then we just got this last bit here to discuss it, like old school strains versus new strains. What we were saying, I'm an old school kind of guy. But then there's the lemon tree, which is reasonably new in the world of seeds, really. But I prefer my old school shit. My Jack Herer, my cheeses, my hazes. Old school is the way I like to go. It's just, you can rely on genetics that have been around for a long time,
Well, I would argue that the new school is the old school. It's almost just a bottleneck, version of it. Because there's not been a lot of introduction of new genetics into breeding since, back in the 80s when the Afghani came in to the States. They'd never seen that. So that changed everything. And then there's been a couple other instances, but nobody's on the hippie trail anymore, bringing in new shit and mixing it in. And so everything is pretty watered down, in my opinion, in terms of the new shit. It's some of it's very good. Don't get me wrong, but it's just I don't know. It's versions of the old. I prefer the old because you have that much more diversity in what you might get out of the seeds you plant. So
about you, Marge, what do you think? Old school, new school? What's your favorite shit?
That's a tough one to answer because, again, I tend to grow a bunch of stuff. Sometimes the old school stuff is kind of, again, it's consistent. It can be, depending on what it is, it can be forgiving, but it's usually consistent. You can kind of know what to expect, but it's fun to experiment and try some new shit. So I'm on the fence on that one. I'm not really going either way. So that's
what are you saying, Bubble? It's understandable, isn't it? There's so much choice out there. Again, it's difficult to really make when it comes to a direct answer on any of this. It's difficult to do. What are you saying, Bubble?
No, old school. For me, it's always old school.
And nothing like the old school.
Nah, love that nostalgia, man.
What more can I say? I wouldn't be here today if the old school didn't pave the way.
Don't get me
Mr.
wrong.
Magic Flash.
I do like some of the new ones. Like I do like some of the new stuff coming out, and I will give it a go here and there. I'll try something different, but I find myself always going back to the ones I like, and the ones I like are all old school. So,
Yeah, man. What about you, Monkey? What do you think?
Mixture of both. I can't say one or the other.
Huzzah, someone agrees with me.
Well, I mean, TG's the same way too. You know, the new school is the old school. I'm the same way with him.
Yeah.
There's some of the new stuff that's made from old genetics is great, and I still appreciate some of the old school stuff as it is. So I say find what you like and don't worry, new school, old school.
That's right. As long as you get something you like, you'll be okay. And that even if it does take 16 weeks to flower and shit, if that's what you really want, then that's what you grow. You know, and there's always help over at percysgrowroom.com. Even if it's your first grow, you can still get all the advice, and we can take you step by step through the whole grow over on percysgrowroom.com. So don't fret about things like that. It's just preferably get something easy if it's your first grow. But if you want to grow super silver haze because that's your shit, then grow super silver haze, man. It's your grow. Do what you like, you know. The help is there for you, so don't be intimidated by any of that shit. But if you're a new grower and you're looking for recommendations on what you should be getting, or or if you just want to look for recommendations altogether, then we would say Jack Herer Seedsman, White Widow from Jack Herer, Auto Colorado Cookies from Dutch Passion is a fucking nice one. Big Buddha's Blue Cheese, that's a good one. And Lemon Tree from Barney's Farm is what I'd say.
I knew you had to throw that lemon tree up in there.
it was coming.
Last, but definitely not least, you know.
And if you don't mind a little bit of challenge with the odors, I think TG had a good one there. Skunk #1. It's just reliable and a pretty easy plant to grow as long as you don't mind skunk.
Yeah.
It'll probably be even more sweet. You know, there's not a lot of.
It has sweet skunk too. It's out there. Yeah.
Yeah.
It really smells like flowers.
And this might be, I'm just going to mention too, I haven't grown this one, but I got it from TG, which is his Charlotte's Web CBD.
Right.
And
Charlotte's Angel. Or
Charlotte's Angel, sorry. But it was like the best CBD weed I've ever consumed. It was so fucking good. So whatever genetics used for that, TG, my hat's off to you, sir. Fantastic.
I doff my hat to you, sir.
That's I fucking self Dutch Passion Charlotte's Angel. It's just an S1, or I don't even know what S it is because I don't know where they were at in their, it's red Angel crossed with Dutch Charlotte, whatever the fuck those are. I've never heard of either of them, but I've looked and there's no information on anything. Dutch Passion's very closed-lipped about their shit, so who knows? But I selfed it, and that's what that is. And
but that would be a great recommendation for somebody looking for CBD weed and something to grow.
Fantastic.
I had it lab tested, and it actually fell right in, like Dutch Passion said, it's going to be between 10 and 15% CBD with under 0.8% THC, and it was 13.5 to 14.
No way.
I got it tested.
It was just like sticky and dank and just
so
good.
It's nice.
Like the smell was just like holy, because I used to pick up some CBD weed from the dispensary.
Yeah.
And that stuff in comparison, the dispensary weed in comparison was shit.
I don't know what people think CBD weed's supposed to be, but if you grow it properly, and you don't tell someone it's CBD, they probably think it's regular weed until they smoke it and don't get high.
I find it to be more oily. Do you find that? Do you get that? Because anytime I've grown CBD cream and cheese, it seems like it's more oily,
And I can actually speak to that as an extraction. I work in extraction and we make CBD and THC oil. And the CBD oil is actually more, it stays it's not as sticky as the THC. It doesn't fucking and I also agree with you that it is a bit more greasy feeling.
It's a different feel to it, isn't it?
Yeah. It's a different molecule, so it makes sense. But it's interesting that you point that out and actually recognize that, because I never heard anybody else say that.
I just smoked a lot of CBD weed because it just tastes so good. It tastes so good,
Yeah,
it is tasty. I do like that one. That's one of my favorites as well.
So anyway, we do have a
staple. No, I was just saying it's a staple. It's one of those ones that it fits where it should. It does what it's advertised, and it tastes nice as well. So
I was surprised, man. To be honest,
delicious weed, delicious. So we have some listener mail questions that we'll quickly get to before we hit this 420 in 11 minutes ish. So from Top Loader, my next planned TG Super Soil grow is Cinderella Jack. What can the panel tell me about it, and what should I look out for? So look out for spider
Cindy
mites.
Jack.
That's,
Look out for me because I'll be there at harvest time.
Cinderella, look out for rats. No,
Yes,
Really?
rats are always after
They
it.
apparently love that shit.
Yeah.
But it's a standard grow, man. Just treat it like anything else. Cinderella Jack is just a normal strain. It's from a Cinderella 99 and Jack Herrera, I think, is the cross between those two. And it's from a Dutch Passion, I think, the Cinderella Jack.
Which would make that a sativa, so maybe a longer flowering time, which would be something you need to consider. Perhaps.
I'm not sure. I've grown Cinderella Jack a long time ago. I can't remember the specifics. I think it was an auto when I grew it as well. I've never grown the photo period. But
In my
Cinderella
memory,
Jack.
it was a pretty standard grow, pretty much like a Jack Herrera. It didn't feed any heavier, didn't need any extra anything really. It just was a pretty standard cut.
Great strain though, man. Good choice, Top Loader. Is there anything anybody would recommend here specifically? I mean, it's in your super soil as well, TG. Anything to recommend with Cinderella Jack?
Like tips for the super soil grow?
Well, just in general with Cinderella Jack specifically, really. Have you grown that before?
Cinderella. I've never grown Cinderella Jack.
Right.
I've heard people. There's a bunch of people that grew it a while back on the site. I think.
Yeah, I think so.
I think Twisted maybe I'm wrong, but yeah, I don't know. Just to, keep it happy, keep your soil watered, don't let it dry out. Probably have some good wheat.
Yes, man.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a classic strain, and it's classic for a reason. These good ones.
Cinderella Jack is Cinderella 99 cross Jack Hare.
Yeah. It's been out fucking ages, man.
Well, C99 is derived from Jack Hare allegedly. So
all right, so it's just gone round and round.
A back cross in a way, depending on where the genetics come from. But that's cool.
But yeah, good luck with the grow there, Top Loader, man. I'm sure it'll go lovely. I'm sure you've grown many. You're used to this shit by now. I'm sure we should be asking you for advice on what to do in this grow. But get your diary up and running on Percys if you haven't already, so we can keep an eye on it as well. That'd be cool. We have a couple of questions from Filmy Bowls. What strains would you say produce the most unique or beautiful flavor?
Flavor or flower? Actually, I think.
Oh, flower. Sorry, my bad. I read it a little wrong. Flower. It's all that CBD weed making me. What was the word again? Fucking out. I can't remember what.
Sloth.
Pathological sloth. There we go.
Pathological
sloughing. Yeah. So
That's a great
flower.
question. I feel like I saw a picture of, and I don't know who sent it to me. Maybe it was UTG. I don't know. But some like really cool. There are some pretty unique looking flower out there.
That's probably me.
Yeah, but I can't remember.
I mean, the biggest flowers I've seen on any plant is from White Widow. They've been like 2-liter cola bottles of fucking huge colas, man, beasts. But the problem is with those is the more susceptible to rot, and it did catch some rot as well.
When I was
that's one thing about the sativas, like if you grow something like a Neville's Haze or Super Silver Haze, you can get like actual baseball bat length colas. It's fucking impressive. It takes a little longer, but those will produce some fucking chonkers.
Yeah, you must have got some huge colas back in your day with White Widow in DWC, Marge.
Oh yeah, we did. But again, sometimes you really had to watch for the bud rot.
Yeah.
Sometimes those giant colas are just prone to. They look beautiful. It's great for the weed porn, but not always great for that other thing.
No, every time you open up the room, it's like, is it rot? Is it rot? I hate those days.
Yeah.
That smell. When you walk in, you're like, oh, son of a bitch. You just know.
You start moving buds around, looking, where's the fuzz? I know it's here somewhere.
Did I leave my Wellington boots in the grow tent? But yeah, so I don't know. They all produce beautiful flowers as far as I'm concerned. They're Filmy Bowls. But anything unique? I grew this one auto, and it grew like a bunch of grapes, man. It wasn't anything like a standard bud, but I think that was just because I did something wrong. I don't know. I mean, the other plants in the tent were fine, but these are real strange ones.
That Dr. Green spoon, I've never run it.
That's right. Yeah,
it has that they're almost like calyx pearls all along, like a vine kind of shit, right?
It almost looks like foxtails all along it.
Like that seems like a commitment, but
yeah, and it's good for growing that type. If you're making hash or something, then you got more surface area for the THC to grow on. So that's those type of flowers like the Dr. Grinspoon, are good for when you're making hash, man. You can get to the inside of the buds easier.
Hash, yeah.
Mm-mm.
What do we say? Frenchie says sour diesel best for hash.
No, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
And we got one more from Phil here, which is a difficult one. What would be the oldest known existing and non-existent strain of cannabis? What? I mean, maybe that's non-extinct. I don't know. But what would be the oldest known existing and non-existing strain of cannabis is what it's got written down here. But I think by non-existing, you make non-extinct, possibly. I don't know.
Extinct.
An old school strain like Hindu Kush, right? Hindu Kush is old school shit from the Himalaya, man.
Yeah.
Some old school shit.
Like Afghan, you can get some pretty old school, like Landrace Afghani from the. I don't want to say them wrong, but there's a couple regions that are known for it, and Hindu Kush. There's the Mazar stuff. There's the Parvati Valley that's famous for a lot of Landrace shit in India.
Thailand.
Zestier said whatever was in the pyramids. And the oldest weed they found was some shit in China, like 3,500 years old or some shit like that. No, because the pyramids are older.
Yeah.
But imagine if you could get some of those cells and revamp them and regrow that weed. That'd be fucking crazy, man.
It'd probably be kind of shitty.
Yeah, it'd be shit weed, yeah.
I mean, it'll maybe not.
Look at how weed was just 70 years ago in the High Times magazines, which was winning all the cups and shit compared to what it is now. Over the last 30 years, cannabis has changed a lot. We're very lucky to have this mind-altering super skunk now. The pathological sloth skunk.
Still hunting that bloody batweed.
You know what I'm saying? The batweed.
Found that yet?
Remember the classic, the batweed?
But who's gonna grow that strain out? Have the new name, pathological sloth. It's gonna have to be a big strain, man. It's got to come out.
If I had any new shit, I'd be like, yeah, they got some pathological sloth for fucking 300 a seed. You want it? Good shit.
Yeah, man. So the oldest strain, probably go for Hindu Kush, man. It's hard to tell, really.
What was the question?
What would be the oldest known existing and non-extinct strain of cannabis?
Oh, yeah, that's fucking hard. Yeah.
But anyway,
it's got to be one of the big five, really.
There's probably wild shit growing out there that nobody's seen. That's been just there since it's been there too.
Yeah.
Some places.
Some place in the middle of one of the mountains on the Himalaya, just never been seen, never been touched.
The Nepalese ones.
Yeah. There's got to be something out there, surely. Even if it's in the middle of the Amazon somewhere. There's got to be something.
I would think so.
Well, on Easter Island, but not Easter Island because they chopped all their trees down and shit. They would definitely chop down all the weed.
Now, the oldest non-existent strain would be the batweed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely. People from running around and throwing fucking Gorilla Glue everywhere too and contaminating the fucking gene pool in these places.
You know what I'm saying?
But again, I shouldn't say that too harshly because local economies, farmers going to grow what people want. So what do they want? Fucking Gorilla Glue.
So there we go, everybody. I think that's all the questions. That's all the questions that we have, and I think we've answered any questions which we could regarding to the best strains. What we would recommend for new growers, what we would recommend in general, where to get them from. The different places which we would recommend you go get your seeds from and shit. I think everything is sort of covered now. So if you are out there in the market looking for some new seeds, you know where to get them and you know which ones to get. But if you have any more questions or you want to recommend some strains that you think you would like to tell everybody else to grow, head over to Percys Grow Room, start a thread, let us know what you think, or put it in the comments. What's your favorite strain and why? Drop it in the comments. Your favorite strain to smoke and your favorite strain to grow, because they might not be the same. So get on it.
See that one from Chile about the oldest strain names. Do you want it or not?
Yeah, you know what I'm saying, bro. That's it. Who is it? Tommy Chong? Like, what's your favorite weed? And he's like, it's just weed, man.
Yeah.
Doesn't really matter what it's called. A rose by any other name would still smell as sweet and all that shit. So there we go, everybody. I hope there was some strains that you've already grown in this episode, but if not, you should really try out every single one of these that we mentioned: the White Widow, the Jack Herer, the Cheeses, the Skunk. There's so many good strains out there, but the ones mentioned in this episode we highly recommend because they've been around for a while and we know they're to be trusted. So check out them strains, especially the Jack Herer, man. It's so good. Anyway, thanks as always for downloading and listening to the show. We would massively appreciate if you could leave a review of the show. Christmas is coming. Do us a favor, give us a Christmas present by leaving a review of the podcast on any of the networks which you download the show from. That would be fucking awesome. But as usual, thank you very much for downloading and listening to the show. I hope we can catch you on Saturday for the live stream with Jorge Cervantes. But if not, we also have Sunday, the main show at 9 p.m. GMT, 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Pacific over on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/highandhomegrown. Go there, subscribe, come and join us for a live stream. It's going to be awesome. But again, thank you very much for listening. And we'll see you on Saturday or Sunday. But if not, the Cannabis News will be out on Monday as usual. We'll see you then, everybody. Have a good weekend. Stay high, stay safe, and we'll see you on the next one. Goodbye.